Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in, welcome in. This is your weekend sales update. But first, let's talk about me finally doing it. I finally joined a cross-listing service. Very briefly, for any non-resellers out there, I'll quickly explain cross-listing. So eBay, of course, is the number one selling platform, and I have now for over a year also been listing on Dibdit. So how I did that was, as I was listing the eBay listing on my laptop, I would just copy and paste this stuff over to Dibdit that manually, and also list it over there. And then if it sells on Dibdit, I delete the listing on eBay, vice versa. It doesn't add a lot of time to do just one extra site, and I have at least a handful of sales on Dibdit each month for buy it now listings. So I felt it was worth it because, especially since I'm a site moderator over there and the fees are much lower. But I wouldn't do that manually for very many more sites. And I have been seeing and hearing a lot of other resellers have luck with different cross-listing services, and what they do is they're linked to multiple selling platforms, and they can post, you can just make one post and it'll blast it out to all those different sites, and you can delist using it. It's very handy. What was setting me back is I didn't have accounts for a lot of the other services. I had a Mercari as a buyer, and I had a Poshmark from 11 years ago, apparently, where I was a buyer. And then I have a Whatnot because I did one or two shows there and I'm a buyer there. But I didn't have a Depop, I didn't have a Etsy, and I didn't even know that I had a Poshmark when I was setting this up. So I was like, oh, do I really want to create accounts and upload pictures and do the bio? But I finally did it last Wednesday and launched them on Thursday. I went with the cross-listing service Crosslist. I know Nifty is a very popular one, and Vendu is a very popular one. After doing a little bit of research, I went with Crosslist. I did a 3-month plan at first. Logged into all my accounts. It offers 10 different services, and that was a big reason why I did it. How many different places you can post. It offers 10. I went with, I think I'm using 7 of them, because I'm not using Grailed, which was like a high-end designer kind of thing, at least from what I was looking at. So I was like, I don't really sell any of that. So I didn't go with that one, and I didn't go with Shopify just because I've never heard of Shopify, and I was already setting up accounts and logging in and doing this for all these other ones. I didn't want to do that as well. And then I actually was going to do Etsy because I have a lot of kind of crafty and glass items that I like to sell, but then I'm trying to create my Etsy, and it wanted a one-time $29 fee, and I was like, okay, if it's only one time, that's not bad. But then it was also 20 cents per listing, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you list 10 things a day, that's a couple bucks. That's $2 every single day. And if it's not selling on that platform, you're just deleting the listing from that platform, but you still paid the 20 cents because it's per listing, not per sale. So I was like, that's a little steep. So I'm already doing all the other ones. So I did not do Etsy. So those are the 3 that I did not do. But of course, I'm already on eBay. And then I did Poshmark, Depop, Mercari, Whatnot, Vinted, which was a new one to me anyway, and then Facebook Marketplace. So those are the 7 that now I'll make my post or my listing on eBay, and I'll blast it to all those sites. Super nice. And then the first weekend alone, I had 8 sales using Crosslist. So the subscription has, I believe, already paid for my 3 months in just the first weekend I launched it. Here was my strategy, folks. Because I'm an everything seller, I have $5 items, and I have one listing over $1,000 right now, but huge range of value and variety. So I was like, none of these services I have any sort of rating. Whatnot, I had 1 5-star review from a show I did over a year ago, but I don't have a presence. I don't have street cred, if you will, on any of these other sites. So I was like, let's list some low dollar to mid-range or some good value items over there, just to get my name in there, just to get me as a trusted seller so I can start listing these higher things. Another nice thing about Crosslist is I could have backloaded all 700 of my eBay listings over to these sites at once, but the subscription that I bought, which was the bottom tier, was only 200 listings per month, which is what I average about doing, like, new listings per month. So I did not do a lot of back order. I did, I think, 15 back listings just to get a store moving along, as like before I even start listing things. And I think throughout the weekend I upped it to around 40. But yeah, eight of the sales we're going to go through. 16 sales total this weekend, so it was a fantastic weekend. I'm sorry if you didn't care about the cross-listing information, but for some people, maybe that's why they're watching this video. But let's go through the sales. I will note the 8 sales on using the Crosslist platform or subscription. Only 2 different platforms had those sales, and those were Mercari and Vinted. I had never even heard of Vinted last week, but now I'm a seller and a handful of sales from it. So let's take a peek, let's take a goose, let's take a gander at what sold this past weekend. First up, always got to shout out the longest listed item that sold. This was a Matrix Bond Ultimate Bond system or whatever. This lady had a table full of these and she was asking a quarter last spring garage sales. And I got one because I was like, I don't want to get a bunch of stuff that I'm going to sit on forever. And it finally sold for $5. So, oh boy, am I glad that I did not buy a whole table full of this stuff. It's a one-time use hair treatment. If you can bundle them up, you put a couple in there and they'll sell pretty quickly for $20. So I guess that could have been a good idea, I guess. I don't know. But this is going to Olney, Illinois. We're going to move on to a baseball collection buyout sale, another signed baseball. This one is Al Kaline, Hall of Fame 80 inscribed. This one does not have stickers or certificate of authenticity, so it definitely did not help the value there. But it still sold for $40 going to Wilmington, Delaware. Next, our first of 2 of the week. Don't buy these if you're looking to resell. But, although it is a bummer because for sure after fees, I'm going to lose money on this, which is not what you want to do as a reseller. But this was so cute, and it sold for $3 on Mercari, my first sale of Mercari. So again, I said I listed a bunch of cheap, or inexpensive, I should say, items over there just to get the ball rolling. This is one of them. I'm gonna lose money on this for sure because I think I paid $3 for it, 3 or 4 maybe even, because it was so cute. It's a circus elephant salt and pepper shaker set in great condition, and they are definitely mass produced and not worth anything. So I'm just glad to get it gone. And another one of those, this is a single serve teapot. The Brown Betty ones definitely do better. This one is black, which hurts the value, but it's sold for $4, and that was on Vinted, and I paid a couple bucks for that. So there's another. Oh, it was because it was chipped. That's why. That was the herder. And stuff like that, I'm like, all right, I think I did that during my kitchen show a couple weeks ago, because when I bought it, it was not chipped. So. And instead of throwing it away, so I was like, you know what, I'll list it for $4 or $5 and we'll sell it quick and just get rid of it because before I break it even more. So that's how that went. And the last sale on Friday was this little guy. This little Fisher-Price kitty cat from Loving Family. And what year is this? 1993. This one sold for $4 going to Massapequa. This came from, I bought a little tub, if you remember from the Ben Franklin general store buyout that I did. I had a little bin of PVC figures. I counted them up. I think there were 52, and about almost half of them were worth listing on their own, meaning to me they're worth $4 or more. So I'll list that on by itself. Why not? They're little. They're easy to ship. And then the other half of 25, I'm just gonna bundle and sell as a one lot. I just started listing out of that bin this weekend. This was the first sale from it. $4. I paid $5 for a bin of 50 PVC figures. So I think I'll end up doing pretty well. They range, the ones I'm listing, which was about 24, 25, range between $4 and $11. So nothing crazy. But when you have 25 $5 listings, that's just easy money right there. And then the rest of them, all the $1 to $3, we'll put in a big bundle, and that should do pretty well as well. But that was on Vinted. There we go. And that's not the last kitty cat you're going to see this evening, folks. We're going to slide right into Saturday. And I think this is the best sale of the weekend. Yes, it is by a little bit. a Frank Robinson signed baseball. That was on eBay. Going to Quincy, Massachusetts. This sold for $55. This one does not have a certificate of authenticity. However, it does have an authenticated sticker from MLB and one from Mountain Memories, but no certificate. $54 for that. I'm not sure if I said that or not. Here's another don't buy this. I bought a few different gun books. One sold really quickly right off the bat. This one did not, and it sold only for a couple bucks. I got this for 50 cents at an estate sale, just testing the waters and trying to learn something new. There are value in some of these gun books, but they need to be older. This one is from the 80s, 1980 something. 25th anniversary. Who knows? It's in here somewhere. But yeah, not a big winner. Then Perry Mason. I got this for $1 at an estate sale. It sold for $6. Why not? A little paperback, easy shipper. And then a pair of Lane's Ugg sandals. Got a little bit of use out of these. These sold on eBay for $7. Small sales, easy shippers, they all add up. And here's the second edition of Don't Buy This if you're looking to resell. I thought I was getting a deal over there on Dibdit.com. I think I got these for each $9 a piece. Sealed MetaZoo booster boxes, 36 packs in each. They're not worth much. I think for the bundle, I sold them, yes, for both of them, $20 going to the same buyer in Gaylord, Michigan. So I'm going to probably, I don't know how the fees work on Mercari, but I maybe will break even, depending on how the shipping transferred over there. Tonight's going to be the first shipping night. I've never shipped on Mercari or Vinted, so that'll be a little bit of a learning experience. Hopefully it goes smoothly. And then our last, those were on Mercari, by the way, a bundle deal on Mercari. Yeah, so don't really pay much for MetaZoo sealed packs or boxes. I feel like I should have looked at like the hit list, see if there's any card hits, and just opened them for that amount of money. Opened them and looked to try and get some card hits, but maybe next time. But there probably won't be a next time because that's going to be on my do not purchase to resell list going forward. And then another PVC from the little bin, another cat, also unvinted to a different buyer. Vinted, if you got little cat toys, folks, and I mean toys in the shape of cats, Vinted may be your place to sell them because this sold very quickly. Just another $5 bill for this. This is MEG, and I didn't even really do too much research. I don't think it's about what it's worth. And I don't know what MEG is. That's going to Batavia, Illinois. And that wraps up Saturday. Then we're going to go to Easter Sunday. I really didn't expect to have any sales on Easter Sunday, maybe one or two. But I had 4 on Sunday. So let's look at them. First off, that baseball collection buyout, it does keep giving. Certainly has slowed down, and I am actually down to my last 2 boxes from the 20-tote collection of baseball stuff. 20 boxes / totes. I'm down to my last 2 for listing, so we should be done. At least listing. We'll be selling it for a while. But another Topps 1996 set. This collection had 4 of these. Why do you need so many Topps 1996? One was in a binder. I think that sold for like 25. Then the next one was about 20. This one's 15. I'm just trying to get rid of them at this point. Complete set, by the way, of Topps 1996. I do still have one more. And then the last baseball installment, Elroy Face. Another ball with no certificate and no stickers, but still sold for $49, going to Clairton, Pennsylvania. Elroy Face. And then the last 2 sales of the weekend were both on Mercari to different buyers, and another little toy from that toy bin. And I still have, I mean, I'm not even halfway done listing the ones that I'm going to be listed, and that I knew that bag, the bag should do pretty well too. I was going to get it, but that's not for this video. Look at this. This is a Woodsy Squirrel Family, mom squeaky toy. From 1970 something, 1978, I think. Oh, it's on the tag, but it's inside. It's super cool little squirrel, and it's in fantastic condition. It sold for $8, and it's going to Otwock, Illinois. Little squeaky toy, why not? And then last sale of the weekend, also on Mercari, going to Millington, Tennessee, is this old book that I got recently at an estate sale last month. The only one I went to, I think, in March. February. Got that for $1. It sold for $6. It's not in the greatest of condition. I just thought it was interesting because it was, I believe this was very old. 1917, yeah, antique book about learning how to read primer. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So it sold quickly for $6. Why not? Just a bunch of little why not type of sales this weekend. What was your favorite sale? I don't know. I like the fact that I sold 2 little kitty cats on the same brand new platform to different buyers. I think that's kind of fun. But honestly, I mean, you're selling squeaky toys. That's hard not to be your favorite sale of the weekend. But I'll keep you guys up to date with how I enjoy the new Crosslist platform. So far, so good, but we'll try shipping these items out on these new platforms. We'll see how all the... we'll just see. We're in this journey together, folks. Let's have a great week, and I hope everybody had a lovely Easter.